And we can just dance the night away until we get no more. I'll shake all the hurt away so you can feel and forget who you used to be. For just tonight, could you just dance the night away?
What's the real reason food guilt feels so heavy? It's not about the food, it's about what you believe it means about you. This is a five-part series I'm doing on guilt after eating, and today we're going to talk about the belief that we have the belief that says I did something bad. So some people may eat a whole bowl of ice cream and enjoy every bite of it, go to bed, not even think about it the next day or that night even. And someone else could eat the same amount of ice cream, feel guilty after, think about it all night, wake up feeling terrible about themselves, and try to avoid eating the whole next day or eat less than normal just because they felt like they overate the night before. So, why is that? It's because of the belief that we have about that ice cream, about what eating that ice cream means to us. And the first person may make eating ice cream mean that they are enjoying a life full of good food. Good food that's delicious. Where the second person could see eating ice cream as the end of all of their hard work done, that if they've restricted the whole day, that's undoing all of their hard work, right? If they're trying to lose weight, this could mean that they are giving up on their diet. That's what it could mean to somebody else. So it's not about the food or the behaviors around the food that make us feel guilty. It's about what we believe about those foods or those behaviors that make us feel guilty. And if we eat something that we believe is bad, we may think I was bad and not only feel guilty, but also feel some shame too. So we can become so critical of ourselves after eating. And why is this happening? Right? This can happen because we have internalized food choices as character judgments. Because diet culture teaches us that if we can be disciplined, then we are good. And if we indulge or break a rule or a food rule that we have, then we are bad. And some of us have internalized these beliefs so much that it has become part of our identities, right? And then what can gradually happen is that these rules that we put in place for ourselves, that it gives us a clear way that we can be good, right? There's a clear structure, a right and a wrong way to really measure success. So what this could turn into is it can become I'm someone who follows the rules. Or, this can turn into your worth being tied to your behavior around food or your food choices. So maybe it starts out as I didn't eat sugar today. But over time, it can shift into I'm the kind of person who doesn't eat sugar. And then it could be even deeper of like, I'm disciplined, I have willpower, I'm in control, right? So we start to believe like, not only am I someone who doesn't eat sugar, but I'm also someone who's super disciplined. I'm someone who has a lot of willpower. I'm someone who's in control of what I'm eating. And so now, if we break a rule or we do eat sugar or maybe we overeat on something that we normally don't, we're not just breaking a rule, right? It doesn't feel like it's not about the behavior change, but it could be a threat to who you are or what your identity is in. And knowing who you are or controlling what you are can feel safe, right? There can be safety in that. And these behaviors are often praised in our culture too, right? We reward rule following. And people may say, if there's this person that has these beliefs of I don't eat sugar, I'm super disciplined, all of those things that we just talked about, they could be praised for being so healthy, right? Or maybe someone's going to say, oh, I wish I had your discipline, or oh, you're so good, right? And so then maybe you become the healthy one. You're the disciplined one. You're the one who always has it together, right? You become that person to everybody around you. That's could be some of your identity. And so then if we're gonna maybe see that this behavior, the way that we're thinking about ourselves isn't serving us as much anymore, or we want to shift from that identity to feel more at peace with food or to feel differently after we're done eating, then letting go of the rules can really feel like losing our identity. Like that could be a big thing that we've been hanging on to or rely on. So, eating ice cream at night isn't just eating ice cream at night, right? It means that you're out of control. It means you aren't disciplined. It means that you failed. And if your identity is being built on being healthy or trying to lose weight or being in control, then that ice cream means that I did something wrong because of what we believe about ourselves and about our habits. If I didn't have that belief that I am someone who should be disciplined around food and should always be trying to eat healthy foods or as little sugar as possible, then, if I don't really believe any of that stuff, then eating ice cream has nothing to do with my identity. It doesn't mean anything about my character, and I just don't feel guilty, right? If I don't have the belief that I should always be trying to eat healthy, I should always be, conscious of my health, I should always be really disciplined. If I don't have that image associated with my identity or people don't see me that way and I don't see myself that way, then when I do have a bowl of ice cream or when I do go get fast food, it has nothing to do with me and who I am. It's just something that I'm enjoying and I don't feel guilt after. So, what is the cost of if we do see ourselves this way? Right? The impact of having these beliefs around food and what that means for us is that how we feel about ourselves is tied to what we eat or how closely we follow these rules. Our self worth may rise and fall, and that impacts how we see ourselves. And if we only feel good about ourselves when we eat in a certain way, or we follow all of the rules and we're rigid and controlling, then there will probably be a lot of time when we feel terrible about ourselves because it's not sustainable to always be rigid and controlling with our eating habits. There may be this increased shame, which causes more disconnection, which can lead to more reactive eating. And the cost is that we're stuck in this cycle where we feel good about ourselves only when we control everything, and then we feel bad about ourselves when we can't. So maybe a reframe from the beliefs that we have could be, you didn't do something bad, but you ate food, right? And that's it. So maybe if you're having ice cream at night, instead of I'm a failure and I, can't follow a diet and all the things that we think if we're feeling guilty, maybe we could reframe and say we didn't do anything bad by eating ice cream and we just had some food. And that's it, right? See if there's another reframe that is more, maybe you feel better about for yourself or something that you relate to more. Like what feeling is going to change how you feel after eating, or what new thought could you think to change the beliefs that you have towards eating, especially when you feel guilty after eating a certain food? So, to practice, can we catch the language of bad, right? This food is bad. I ate something, so I was bad, right? How can we switch the language from bad to I maybe ate more than I expected? Maybe I didn't really want to eat that much. Well, why? Why did you eat that much if you didn't want to? Like, how can we start to be curious towards ourselves to kind of work backwards and see, what was going on for us that created a result that we maybe didn't want? So, how can we shift from judgment to more of an observation of ourselves? And something I probably am going to repeat forever is how can we be curious towards ourselves? How can we be curious towards our eating patterns? If I was to act almost like a researcher for one day or a week, what would it look like to just observe what I do with my eating habits, how I'm feeling, not to judge it, not to try to change it, just to be an observer of what I do without any judgment? So, to end, I want to encourage us to practice separating who you are from what you eat, right? Ask yourself, could I be someone that is curious about how I eat and about how I feel about how I eat instead of feeling guilty and judging myself?